Welcome once again to our series of brief video tutorials on finding, writing, and citing. In this series, we demonstrate how to use Refworks, a cloud-based reference management tool which all members of the WMU community are licensed to use. See the first video in the Refworks series for instructions on how to access your Refworks account. Previously, we demonstrated how to type in a citation manually into Refworks. In this video, we will demonstrate how to import your citations directly from a database that has the Export to Refworks feature. Let's start with the Library Discovery Service. If you just go to the regular library homepage, enter a search, find a citation of interest, perhaps this one. And you can see I can get the APA citation right there, or I can export it directly so that I don't even have to cut and paste or type or anything. So if I export, the default for WMU is to export to Refworks. Always choose the new one if you get a choice. Remember, when you log in, don't bother with your username and password. You don't need to do that. You might not even have a username and password. Just go to the bottom of Find Your Institution. And there you go. Let's take a look. All right, and there's our citation, Christopher Hayes Maritime Law. Okay, that was the Discovery Service. Let's go back just to show you that it can be done from other databases. So if you look in our databases A to Z list, you'll see a number of databases. Some have the export feature, some don't. Let's choose one that does. Here's Science Direct. I've already typed in a search term. And right here, you can export Save to Refworks. Saved another one. So in addition to Christopher Hill's work, we also have the article we just got from Science Direct. Another example, Hein Online. I'm doing a search for UNCLOS. Okay, let's take a look at this one. All right, I would like to have this in my database. Cite. I can see the APA style right here if I just want to cut and paste it directly into a bibliography, but I might want to use this later, which is one of the handier features about reference management software such as Refworks. So I export to Refworks. There it is. Okay, and the last one I want to show you is a search I'm doing in Google Scholar. Note that's not the same as Google, excuse me, scholar.google.com or .se, either one. Okay, so I got a list here. Let's say I want to get this one. Just check the site, and look, I can see the APA citation, but I can also export it to Refworks. There it is. So without any typing, I've gotten 4 citations from 4 different databases, and I can reuse them for later. Output them in APA format, Harvard, Chicago, any style, as well as export them to a bibliography. I want to show one other thing about Refworks. Not every database does this, but let's go back to our example of maritime law in the discovery service. Many do, and that is the ability to batch export. In this case, let's take, goodness, let me just do electronic only so I have some variety. Further ebooks. There we go. Okay, so I choose this one, and I choose this one, and I choose this one. In other words, I'm just, as I go along, I'm selecting citations, and I'm keeping a list as I go along. And then I can go up to the top here, go to Folder, and I can see everything that's in my folder, and I can select the 1 or 2 or 3, or I can select them all and export them in a batch to Refworks. And I can remove them from my folder or keep them there. And there we have the list of last imported. Now at this point, having gathered all these, it's still incumbent upon you to go through and make sure that the information is correct, because ultimately that's your responsibility. It could be that when you exported an article, perhaps Refworks interpreted it as a book or a conference proceeding. Could be that it's not spelled or properly, or that it's not abbreviated or capitalized according to the rules of APA, etc. So you need to go through and just make sure that everything's in the right place. Here's some tags. You don't necessarily need to worry about that. Here's a link back to EBSCO. So you just want to make sure that you've got your information in the correct place. And that's certainly a lot easier than typing. Okay, in the next video, I want to show an example of a database that doesn't have a direct export feature into Refworks, but still has the ability for you to export from one, download to your computer, and upload into Refworks. So stay tuned.